Pic.Think, thinking through media.
Okay, so we can begin after much delay. Sorry. How are we again? How long has it been? Have you guys been timing it? Has it been 45 minutes?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Well, when they see us, hopefully you guys have the same energy that you had in the intermission.
Yeah. That's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is Ava DuVernay's When They See Us, released this year?
Yeah.
Okay, this year. Okay, so first question I have. Okay, yeah, of course. If you don't know by now, should know, I'm joined by Gladys and Raveen. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get this done quick as possible. So, if you were in a position of any of the Central Park 5, what would you say you would do, and what do you think you would actually do?
Like I said, I'd be cussing. No. That's something that I thought about throughout watching the show. Because I don't know, because when shows are like based on real life, I try and like depict it as if it would happen in my real life. And I
don't have a clue.
I don't know where they got that spirit from, because for me, I'd just give up.
Yeah.
You mean as actors? Or
No,
you mean
I think
real?
the real people, like that spirit to keep going on to.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that they're all very strong. I would consider suicide a lot if I was in their position in jail. And at that young age where you don't even have that strength, I don't know.
And the deals that they were getting to get themselves out early, just say you're guilty. Yeah. I would have ran that quick time. I'm not even gonna lie.
They were...
And it's just like, you're gonna like sell yourself out
for freedom.
Yeah. And it was,
Yeah. No, I do a similar thing. When I hear that it's based on a true story, I'm kind of like, it makes me more empathetic, if that makes sense. I kind of try and put myself in that position. The reason why I cry is I'm like, I don't think I could do what they do. Like, I don't know if I could do what they did. Like, I'll be crying that I want to go home just the same way. Same way today, like, you know what I mean? At this age. So... So I couldn't imagine it at all. I would say that I would obviously have to keep quiet. I would have to stick to the truth in that, ideally. But like after being starved for so long, after being kind of like intimidated,
they tell you go home. Just tell us what we need to hear, and then you go home.
So in situations like that, it's like, do you hold on to your value of like telling the truth? And that's what I was kind of saying, like, I was saying in the last one, in the Lion King, about you have to kind of see that value as something you die for. That kind of question, the reason why I cried as well, is kind of questioned me whether it's saying that, would you actually die for it? Like, would you go to prison for the truth? Would you actually hold on to the truth, be honest, and if this was put in front of you? And honestly, I can't say that I definitely would. And that's why sometimes I feel as though it kind of reinforces the reason why, like, I try to kind of always strengthen my spiritual life. So if I'm ever in a situation like that where I can actually do the noble thing, I ideally, but in all honesty, I would have to pray. I would have to pray for the strength. Like you said, I don't know where they got the spirit from, but I don't know where I would get the spirit from.
No.
So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you see the situation as simply a matter of self-preservation or selfishness? So like, when they were kind of saying, oh no, let's say Raymond was saying, oh, this person did it, or Kevin, who else was saying? Raymond was saying that this person did it, and then this person was saying this person did it. Oh, basically all of them were saying it against each other, lying on each other, basically. So did you see it as self-preservation, or was it selfishness?
Self-preservation, I think. Like, they didn't really have a choice in that moment. They didn't even know the guys they were saying. They were like, who's Raymond? Who's this person? They were just saying names and they didn't even know it. And at that point, you just... Yeah, I think it was more self-preservation than
Because at the same time as well, they were snitching on other guys, not themselves. So it's kind of like, okay, snitch on this guy so we can catch that guy. But it was kind of like they kind of thought they'd be able to go home. So in a sense, it could have been selfishness, but
it's to preserve their life.
Sort of thing. So I don't think it's classed as selfishness in that moment.
In that moment, it's not classed as selfishness, but it's like the reason why I asked this question as well, because of course it's self-preservation, and you don't want to say it's selfishness because, of course, like you're thinking, like if I go to jail, then when someone else has done something or something like that, then I'm not doing myself a service. You know what I mean? But I think the reason why I'm calling it highlighting selfishness is the fact that it's like, how do I describe it? If it wasn't selfishness, you'd know that if I say, oh yes, this person, I don't know this person, I'm false witnessing against this person just for myself. Yeah. Just so that I can go home. But what about this person? You're not taking into you're not taking into consideration how you're affecting someone else's life. Yeah. Well, I think one thing that was powerful about the show is that it kind of showed you how what you do affects someone else.
There's a knock-on as such.
It's a knock-on. It's not just, oh, I can just do this and then everything's okay. Yeah. It's like, I do this and it affects someone else. Yeah.
The only reason why I say it wasn't self, it was, they didn't really have there wasn't another choice. Yeah. It wasn't like, well, you can choose to say it was you or choose to say it was this person. Like, it was forced almost on them. That was the only option they had. So it wasn't like they picked the name and said, actually, I'm just going to blame this person, Raymond, or something. It was just fed to them. It wasn't by choice. It was involuntary that they sort of had to make that decision to snitch instead of stitch someone else up. But
yeah, it was definitely forced, because had they been put into that room together prior to that, probably wouldn't have said that each other did it. Yeah.
And then they probably didn't, you don't think, in that moment, you wouldn't think, oh, this person is then going to get into this much trouble. You're just tunnel vision thinking, I want to get home. You're not really, whereas if someone said to you, okay, if you say it's this person, they're going to get 20 years to life, they're going to get beaten up, everything, they probably think, actually, yeah, maybe I don't want to, but you're not, in that moment, you're just going to say what they're telling you to say. You're not thinking what effect it has on the other person. So I guess it is, Yeah.
Reason why I asked this, and also it's it kind of touches on like a what's the word? Is it rational choice theory? It's like a thought experiment, a philosophical thought experiment, or rational choice theory, game theory kind of thing, where called the prisoner's dilemma. Have you heard of it? So basically, I really wanted the Wi-Fi to be working so that I would be able to kind of show you instead of explain it, because I don't think I would explain it so well. But it's pretty much where, let's say, for example, you and a criminal partner rob a jewelry store or whatever, and you both get caught, but there's no hard evidence against either one of you, but there's enough to kind of say that you're going to be in violation of your parole, so you'll be spending 3 years in prison. And so the person who is the detective or something, whoever is in charge of it, interrogating you, is saying, if you snitch on your friend, then if you confess and they stay silent, then you'll get off scot-free and they'll get 15 years. If they confess against you, you'll get 15 years and they'll go off scot-free. If you both stay silent, then nothing. And if you both confess, you're both going to get 10 years. So that situation relies on both sides to kind of be cooperative in the opposite way to this film. This film is, this miniseries is saying they're all innocent, but the other one is that they're guilty and they're working together. But it's kind of saying, if they were to collaborate and realize that, oh, let's hang on to something, in this situation, they'll be lying. Yeah. But in that situation, they'll be telling the truth. Okay. So in that situation, if they held on to the truth, then nothing would have happened to them. of course, they didn't know that. They don't have any guarantees.
Mm.
But in this situation, if they both stayed silent, they would have went off free. And then maybe they would have violated their parole, that kind of thing. So it relies on people to work together, basically. And I was going to say, what do you feel like you would do if you were faced with the prisoner's dilemma in that sense as well? Does it feel like a different situation, or do you feel like it's the same?
I feel like it feels like a different situation because in the prisoner's, what's it called?
Prisoner's dilemma.
Prisoner's dilemma. Am I being starved? Am I being beaten up? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, how old am I? Do I have all my rights?
Yeah.
Like,
Do
you get what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
So I feel like it's a completely different situation.
You're almost not making that conscious decision. It's like, it's more of a survival thing at that point.
What, when they see us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is a survival thing. The other one is more like...
you have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, you just have to think smart.
Yeah.
That's literally...
Yeah, whereas in this, it was like lose-lose. There was no right answer.
Yeah, there was no option.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, you felt like they were just backed into a corner. They didn't have an option to do it. Yeah, I could see that. Well, I thought that would be interesting to compare. But yeah, so let's move on to the review. So considering the prisoner's dilemma and the title of the series, did Ava DuVernay manage to portray the Central Park 5's character situation in an accurate, fair and unbiased way?
Amazingly. I mean, I don't know if it was unbiased. It was probably biased towards showing the victim side. But I think that's probably what the bit that's not been shown before, so it needed to. But I mean, I haven't watched much footage of the real footage, but I think did it complete justice. Like hit the nail on the head to a T. Just like it was the view that you need to see, because the whole point was that the victim's voice was never heard before. Their side was not seen from their point of view. So this now equalised it. Like, you had all the media, the newspaper, they didn't get their say, and now finally this shows how it was for them. Yeah, I think it was... I don't even know if it was biased towards them more. I guess it was, because it didn't show, I don't know, what could have been going on for the police, for the lawyer, whatever, but that wasn't important anyway. But, no, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that I kind of struggled with that, because I felt as though, even though I felt like, like you said, they're giving a voice to the people who didn't have the voice before, I felt like it might have been biased, because even the title is kind of like she's siding with the black people, as you would if you identify as black.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't feel like...
But regardless of even, obviously, race, we can't say regardless of race, because race played a huge point. Wouldn't you be on the side of the innocents, the right side? Like, you wouldn't... So it's not because she's black. Well, yes, because she's black, she has that favourite side, but that was the true story. So she favoured that. That was the truth.
There were facts in it, but I think she'd been criticised for... Basically, she got the whole story pretty much correct. But the only things that were questioned were kind of things about that woman, Linda Fairstein, the blonde woman who... What role... Was she detective?
Yeah.
Yeah, the detective in it. Because apparently she might not have been... what's the word? Shepherding from the beginning of the case as it was. And there was... The inclusion of Donald Trump at that time might have come across as biased or propagandist against the Trump that's in presidency now, because at that time he didn't have any presidential power, but they included it as if it was kind of hinting at that. So would you say that was...
But he was still on TV saying that.
He still paid however much for the adverts and stuff. So regardless of whether he was president or not, he had enough power, money and authority to make... He didn't have to be president. He was still doing stupidness. Like, he didn't...
He still had influence.
Regardless of whether he was presidential status or not. I think he's to his his actions were equally as important, even if he wasn't president. In that, and that's fact that he did that. That's not fabricated. And I think maybe if it does come across as biased and a bit exaggerated, I think that's how it has to be to catch the attention. And it's exactly what the newspapers did. They made everything bigger scale, made them seem like such aggressive, harsh little teenagers. They made them seem like killers and rapists, and that was so far from the truth. So what she's doing is exactly what they did, but she's using the truth.
And seeing that as well, I think probably he was the first person to say that they deserve the death penalty. So you would, like, as part of their family or even themselves, you would remember that no matter who said it. You would remember a comment like that. So it must have been significant for them to include.
So, I see what you mean.
Even if it wasn't Trump, even if it was someone else that was just rich and had the money to be able, the fact that people are campaigning for them to be killed is enough. Like like you said, it's significant enough.
I agree. What you mentioned about the media, I was going to say the depiction of the media seemed as though it was sensationalist and fear-mongering. You know, when like it was at the beginning of an episode where like there was like do you call it a collage, or like, you know, where so many different news outlets were talking over each other. It said details didn't matter because there was no script. They were coming downtown from a world of crack, welfare, guns, knives, indifference, and ignorance. They were coming from a land of no fathers. They were coming from the wild province of the poor and driven by a collective fury brimming with the rippling energy of youth. Their minds teeming with the violent images seen in the movies. They had only one goal: to smash, hurt, rob, stop, rape. The enemies were rich. The enemies were white. So that's how that was.
Is that a piece from the media?
That was the piece from the media that Ava DuVernay put in. But I don't know
that's how it was.
How it was, or that was word for word what was said. But the way that was put in, I felt as though it kind of got across the. Even if she was kind of. It kind of got across the whole when they see us. That was kind of like the message that she was trying to put across, that, oh, this is how they see us. Or this is how they perceive us. So. But yeah, I didn't know if she kind of put it in, or if it was like that was how, if she was actually exaggerating how the media is, or if she was putting it as like something to kind of say that this is like how it was at the time.
I think it probably is a bit of both, because you would have to exaggerate to do it in just a snippet of just that. You would have to exaggerate it enough to know that she basically summed up all of the papers and stuff in this one point, so it has to be on a sort of grand scale, and I think it probably isn't that exaggerated.
Yeah, because if they're talking about death penalty, then it must have been like that.
Even now, how they... Do you know what? This is like such a random fact, but even just the heading that... Is it The Sun that did about
Stormzy,
about even Dave? It was recently, and they were saying... crime rapper Dave, murderer's brother, and it's like, what a headline! Like, how on earth have you twisted that to get in crime, murderer, this, and it's like, that is so far from the truth, and that's just...
When was this?
That was a few days ago. A few days ago.
And even stuff about like Raheem Sterling. And
I've seen Raheem Sterling.
And the wording that they use is just like ridiculous,
ex-gang
stupid.
member.
Yeah, pulling out. So I believe that. And we're talking about these articles now, so much less 30 years ago, however long ago it was.
30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. 1989.
Yeah, in America, a place that is not set up for black people to succeed, black men are to survive. And
that's, true. And here we feel like it's much less.
Yeah, so I can believe that fully.
That is one of the examples that I was going to kind of think as, this is how we do see it, and that's one reason why she wouldn't be biased. It wouldn't seem like it's biased because we see it all the time. We see
I feel like stuff. Even if there are exaggerations, she's done it because she has to equalise what's already happened. Like, but if you think back to the footage that she showed, and even if you do go up and read about it, there's so many articles on it. There's so much out there. You had so much press. It caught the attention of the world. So it made such a big fuss, so she has to do the same. I think you have to...
And another reason why I don't feel like it's been exaggerated is because I've done some research after I watched it. And everything, like, matches up. Like, the real life, everything down to a T, like, just matches.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe that part of it matches too.
Yeah. And for people to feel, for her to make it as a motive as she did, to get the message across, and for people to, like, feel what the actors felt, I think it had to be spot on. I wouldn't say, it was too dramatic, it was, melodramatic or anything. I wouldn't. No. Yeah.
I think, like you mentioned off camera that that woman was denying, Linda Fairstein, she was saying that it was an over-exaggeration and stuff like that. So you wouldn't say that it felt like slander, it felt like it was...
Who cares if it was? I don't give a shit what she thinks if it was exaggerated or not. It's your fault. You put them innocent. You knew she knew they were innocent. And when they started saying, let's bring in a sixth person, let's bring in Korey, the timelines don't add up. You knew.
What about?
Whether you played a role in the beginning, last, I don't care.
Even if she didn't know they were innocent,
You
were doing the wrong things from the get-go. So you knew you were doing something
the
dodgy.
parents,
So
you weren't supposed to interview them without their parents there. You're not supposed to beat them up. It was just, And
the other woman, the one with the brown curly hair. Who is she?
The lawyer.
She
knew
she was
there
pointing
doubt.
out what wasn't matching up and stuff. And you chose to hide that.
Yeah, for the sake of your career.
You filled in all those blanks knowing that they weren't true.
Yeah, you painted that picture. You knew when you tried to hide the DNA, everything. So that woman, she can say what she likes. I don't care. So she played her part, no matter how big or small. Like she could have made a difference to make them not seem guilty. To make 14-year-old boys not seem like rapists and murderers. Like you. I don't know. Let me just.
Did you feel like she was? You guys are obviously going to say, she was racist. But I felt like, do you feel like she was racist or she was, what's the word? Wait, hold on. Or she was, you know where I'm going. Okay, so do you feel like she was racist or do you feel like she was radically feminist?
Because I got that impression too. Because when she was like, a woman, I was just like, calm down. Has something similar happened to you or something? Like, I kind of got that impression that someone she knows or maybe herself has been sexually assaulted or some sort of thing. Because she felt and she felt passionate about the fact that it was the rape, not even the beating up, the whole thing. Do you get what I mean? It was just that rape thing that she was totally,
fixed on.
So
it seemed as though it seemed as though she had an agenda. From what I could
definitely from the get-go. The minute she had, she was like, we need to capture this person. But it was a rich white woman. If it was a poor black woman that had been raped in the park, would she have the same energy? Probably not.
Because I swear other people got assaulted in that park.
That park is
and obviously, I feel like they've obviously done something about those assaults, but why was this one so big? They said they had all the 15 boys or 30 boys or whatever that was in the park had beaten up a couple, had raped the woman, had done
but just
all
this
these
one
things.
runner was really...
So
she was rich and white.
So you know how she used the word animals? Would you say that was rape? The thing is, when she used the word animals, I kept on thinking... it was like I was like, are you gonna say it? Yeah. But then it kind of come across as like she was like everyone that's black in is guilty or every black male. But then it kind of felt like she's teetering on the edge between radical feminist and racist. So I was like, where are you? I don't know.
She's
probably
everywhere.
Yeah.
She's doing the most for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, because she was like, every black boy needs to be arrested.
I think she probably started with her point coming to it was more the radical feminism, but then she was probably ecstatic when she saw that there were young black boys involved as well. She thought, great, now I can put my two favourite hobbies together and destroy some lives. It was just like a cherry on top.
I could.
She was,
Oh my god.
no, that was like, she was probably like so excited inside when she thought this is a dream come true.
Her agenda definitely started to switch at times.
Yeah. It just made her job easier, the fact that it was young black boys.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. She was like, cool.
Okay.
Got this, nailed it.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm gonna have to censor some stuff out. This is the most I've heard Raveen swear. Oh my days.
Let me just... Next question, please.
Yeah, let me move on from
Okay,
mad. Move on from that. Okay, so now let's focus on like the characters in the no, we were focused on the characters in the show, but let's talk more about, let's say, Antron's father, Bobby McCray, stuff like that. So when he advised his son to false witness, and also when he and when he avoided court and the court statement he made and so on and so forth, did you think that his actions came across as self-interested or selfless?
A bit of both.
You made a face, Raveen, as in, why are you even asking that?
Selfless?
The reason why I asked this is that, remember when he was getting angry with Antron? He said, these police will mess us up. They're not playing. When the police want what they want, they will do anything. They'll lie on us, they will lock us up, and they will kill us. I won't let them kill my son. So when he said that, I was like, so then you could feel it. I know. But at the same time, just before that, he was being blackmailed.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like, there's like an ambiguity there where it's like, you don't know whether he's doing it because he wants to hold on to his own job.
Yeah.
Or if he actually does care for his son.
I feel like the reason why I say both is because he was obviously blackmailed, and it's already hard as it is for a black male. For a black male in America, especially as like a father, you're meant to provide and stuff, and I feel like it was a kind of a pride thing as well, because if he could not do that for his family, it would still be a lose-lose situation. Do you get what I mean? They would still get his son, either kill him or blackmail him or do whatever, and at the same time he would not have no job to provide for his family. So that's why I kind of feel like it's a bit of both, because at the end of the day, you still told your son to lie.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of
there
both.
could have been a better way to go about it, but
I guess he didn't know the gravity of it, which is why he would say, okay, just tell one little white lie.
But then when it got to the court stage and you were avoiding the situation, that's
what I had a problem with. Yeah. I thought, come on, you're doing this because it's easier for you to ignore it. Saying, stop it.
No, the reason I'm laughing is because, do you remember when he had the shades? Like, no one's going to recognise you with that big high top.
I got disguise. We can still see you.
We know it's you.
We know. Take them off.
No, the mum and Antron were like, look at this fool. Look at this fool.
And you know that's exactly how it went down as well.
You know what part? You know, you guys were talking about emotional parts. Now that I'm thinking about that, the emotional part is when Antron was in the bathroom with him and shouting, he said, "This is my life." When he said that, I was like...
Wait,
because I think by that point,
you know, when
his dad finally came to court after missing loads.
Oh, when they were in the toilet in the court.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, now you want to act like the hero.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was like, this is hard for you, but this is my life. Like,
and
I think that's why I had a problem with it. I get why it's difficult for the dad, but it's like, you have to overcome that. Your son is going through more, and you're a big man. Your son's a little boy still, and furthermore, you got him in that situation. It wasn't completely like his fault, but obviously that's where the guilt comes from. It's difficult for him, but...
And that's selfish. That's a bit selfish, because I understand you feel guilty, you know where you've gone wrong, but at the end of the day, that's the family that you want to support. That's
what a time to not show up.
Exactly.
Of all times in somebody's life. Yeah, no, he failed there.
So do you blame Antron for, like, you know, when he came out of prison and he was just blanking his dad, he was just ignoring his dad? Do you blame him for that?
I don't blame him because that's a lot of hurt. That is a lot of hurt.
Yeah, because he wanted to tell the truth. No, I couldn't. I don't think.
100%.
Knowing myself, I don't think I could forget. Like,
and you could see their relationship from the beginning as well.
Yeah.
They were boys.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And for somebody that you trust so much,
the world is already betraying you, and now your own father.
And I understand why
man.
he's hurt. It's a lot of hurt.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
for
no.
himself, I feel like he needs to heal from it if he wants to.
Yeah, that's the only point I thought.
Yeah.
It's so sad for him to die, and you have all this hate and anger.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get you. He wanted to do the right thing. He kept saying to his dad, "No, I'm gonna tell them."
And he
And
didn't
your dad-
turn up as well to
Yeah.
your court dates after the whole
Yeah,
thing
no, that's
happened.
just-
That's
Yeah,
what would be
that's-
to be like.
That would
Okay,
be-
regardless of what's
yeah.
happened now, like
And then
we're
it
in
was
this
like,
together.
Yeah.
Support me now. We're here.
yeah, and it was like you left
Yeah.
the mum
Then
as
you
well,
left the mom.
who was actually supporting Antron. So it was kind of like, and then she let him back in because he was old and just
Ill
unwell.
and yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you're taking the piss out of me and you're taking the piss out of my mum.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I get it completely.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand it as well.
And then what? He expected him to be greeted with open arms. Did he even go and visit him inside?
Boy.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No, then I
yeah.
couldn't forget. I couldn't. Yeah, no.
No, I don't think. The thing is, I think the thing that makes me sympathetic towards Bobby, not because his actions, it's because he knew he went wrong and
Yeah.
he couldn't even
Deal with that.
No, it's more like he couldn't even blame his son, even him. Like,
Yeah,
then,
okay.
like you know,
Yeah.
when he was saying, "Oh, I got, have lunch," and da 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 da. It's like you can't get angry. Like
Yeah.
you can't get angry if you
Yeah.
want.
He
knew.
avoided it altogether
Yeah, yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
actually like blame his son or say
Yeah.
anything towards him that could be like
Taken that way.
he just didn't want to
stayed
deal with it at all because he knew his son was innocent. He knew what the truth was. Yeah.
I do feel for him. Like, he was put between a rock and a hard place, innit? Like, he had to choose between his job and getting back mailed, and like I said, he probably didn't think it would have this much of an impact to tell his son to lie. But man, I can't imagine.
Crazy, man.
I can't imagine like going through all of that and feeling that guilt and then to abandon them.
And because
That's the bit that gets me.
they
I'm like,
did say like he was blackmailed because he's done time in prison or something like that
the
himself,
employer
isn't it?
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess for him as well, he knows what it's been like, and he was trying to avoid his son from going to jail.
That's the thing. Imagine that. Yeah, so it could have been. That's why I think it's so ambiguous. Like, he could have been doing it because he's been through it. So he's saying, "Nah, I don't. Just tell them," because he's been through it and then seen how.
But then taking that same message, like when he got to the court, you know what it's been like. You know that being on trial, if you've been through it yourself, it's a difficult time. Why would you not show up?
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. So next, I wanted to ask, what did you think about the portrayal of the relationships between parents and children in this? Not even just parents, sibling as well.
Really good.
So good. Like the support that it was just that if they didn't have that, boy, that's what I'm saying.
Even the relationship, like Korey and his mum, and it wasn't always.
It wasn't perfect.
And the sister, the transgender sister, like it wasn't. They didn't paint a happy, pretty picture. Sometimes she didn't visit. Like it was realistic, but it was. You felt every minute of it, like the hurt, the pain, everything in it. As families go through, it was. I think it was spot on.
Yeah.
The sibling relationship as well, and it was just. Even just the friendship between like Korey and Yusef, straight through to the ends, like he was like, "You shouldn't have been there. You came for me," and it's just
Stop it.
That just that one made me feel like, why did I kept on
said, "You know what? My mom's gonna be mad. Your mom's gonna be mad at me if I don't go with you." Imagine just.
And in that episode when they're like, "We need one more person," and then you just see him, Korey sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah.
Like. I was like, nah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Aww.
I was just thinking, no, I was thinking, why did he go?
I know.
I was thinking, why did he go?
And in Oprah's thing, didn't she ask him, like, do you regret going with him?
And I think he said no.
And he says yes and no.
Yeah, obviously,
He said yes
naturally.
and no.
But back then as well,
That's
like,
all
as
you
young
do.
black boys,
Yeah.
you did stick together. Your parents were close. You looked out for each other. So
Yeah.
you'd be like, you're going, cool, I'll go with you. And you think you get out in a couple hours. Man, that was just, yeah.
I was going to say, what do you... considering that, what did you think about Yusef's mum and Korey's mum? You know when Korey's mum wanted
the letter.
The correspondence between the two, and Yusef's mum didn't want any part of that.
I think she messed up there.
You reckon?
Like, I get her point that they weren't supposed to have communication with each other and that could put them more at risk, but also, like, yeah, fair enough, it's not Korey's fault, but it was not Yusef's fault, but Korey went to support your son. Like, he went there because he didn't want to leave your son alone. Now that her son is alone, you can't even ask him to write a few, like,
as his,
and the fact as an adult.
If I was Yusef's mum, I would feel kind of in debt.
Yeah, like, your boy went there to protect him. Let me do something for you. You wouldn't be.
Would you feel in debt, like, or would you feel resentment? Because you know how that recording of Korey, where he was like, actually just said, "Oh, we raped." It kind of made it worse for Yusef.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been there if you didn't go to support Yusef.
He wouldn't have been there. What do you mean?
As in, Korey wouldn't have been...
They would have got someone. Someone would have recorded that video and said it.
It would have been... They would have fabricated something. I don't know.
I don't know as well, because I was thinking that if I saw let's say if I had a child and they were innocent or something, and their friend said, we raped, I'll be like, I'll have some sort of resentment towards that child.
You would, but then also your resentment would be towards the system, because you know that recording was made without the adult being there, after them being starved and kept for however many hours. So you would take that into consideration, and your son has been through the same... They all made tapes. Yes, Korey said
I think Yusef
explicitly,
didn't,
but did he not? Was he the one that didn't?
Because his mum came just before. I think
And just in time, which was lucky for her. And you would have that resentment, but then also you'd see that even if Korey didn't make the video, these people were out to get your boys. They would have found a way to stick it on them without that recording anyway. So I think you would just... Yeah, and then you would sort of just be like, well, we're here now, regardless of how we got here. All of our boys are suffering, so let's help each other out in some way. Yeah,
I would think so as well. Yeah. So you know the series is only 4 episodes. Did you feel like the narrative being split 5 ways between Kevin, Antron, Raymond, Yusef, and Korey shortchanged each individual story, or was it enough? Was it sufficient? Or do you feel like the show would have benefited from everyone having... Would the series have benefited from everyone having their own individual story, similar to Korey's at the end?
No. I feel like it was good as it was. I didn't feel like I missed anything with the other 4 boys' stories, but I feel like having just that episode for Korey showed how much more traumatic his experience was, and they needed to have something different. And if you watch the When They See Us Now with Oprah, they say, like, together the actors were like, do you know what, Korey's story is different to ours, he needs to have his own. So it's actually them that decided his story needs to be told, he needs his own 50 minutes.
He went through a different...
Yeah, and I think that's was important to show that his journey was different. Like, it was... And you see, when you watch When They See Us Now, even just videos of Korey, you see it, like, his eyes just have a darkness, like a trauma about him. You're just like, wow, you're never gonna get away from that experience that you went through. So I think it was good that they had just that story for Korey. And because he was kept inside a lot longer than all the other boys and everything, it was... And I don't feel like I missed out on the stories of the others. They filled in all the gaps of when they got released, everything, like Afterlife.
I agree.
I think it was fine too.
Yeah. I think it was fine. But I think Ava DuVernay has got kind of criticised for making their stories quite short. Because the 3rd episode, as you know, it was kind of like them... It was kind of like a quick transition. And it felt like, Korey's was the one that was like...
In depth.
Yeah, in depth. But I agree with you. I felt like his story is different because his situation was different because he was 16.
Yeah.
And so he was a child just a child.
I'm just getting flashbacks of that first.
Just as a child going into adult prison. So it deserved its own thing. I think it deserved
little list, but oh my God. Yeah. No.
I don't even have to, I would ask, whose story kind of resonated with you the most?
I think Antron's.
Really? I was assuming that everyone was going to say Korey. For me, it was Korey.
Obviously, Korey.
Yeah.
Korey, yeah.
But Antron's as well. Because for him, things were different. He had both his parents there. He wasn't the typical, black boy. Like, he had both his parents there. He was on a basketball team or whatever, going to school actively. And they still got him. Do you get what I mean? They still, and he just wanted to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, he actually just wanted to tell the truth.
Yeah, he didn't want to lie at all.
Whereas, the others, they were sort of, coerced into it because they didn't have that adult supervision or whatever. But he literally was just like, I don't want to lie.
Yeah. I did not do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna,
And... yeah, I think, it was just...
It was him. Okay.
And just the switch of how he grew up between going through his trial during court up to that point where he has a conversation with his dad in the bathroom. It's like he's become the man of the house. He's like, this is my life. He's taken, He's like, all right, I don't have a dad right now. This is my life. I'm doing this for me. Because his dad was absent and you just saw him grow and also just be there for his mum when his dad wasn't. So it was...
Antron was the one that it was him, of course it was him. The one that was saying, this one annoyed me. When his girlfriend was talking about why don't we go out to eat,
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, he's saving for school.
Oh yeah. When he was older.
Yeah. And I was just thinking,
where do you want him to take you? Be happy. Yeah,
and that part annoyed me because he had his priorities straight.
For a reason,
and that's probably how he's grown up as well, because he was, like I said, he had his mother's support with what he was doing. He had his dad's support, and it was just that tunnel vision and that. But
then he still got caught by the system somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's sad.
And I kind of felt for Raymond as well, because after he came out, went back in for drugs.
Yeah. I'm glad that they showed that though, because it was, even though you get released, it's not easy.
Yeah. It's hard to find
and integrating back into the family too. He had his dad, but that stepmom, everything, it was just to have your own, in your home, someone's calling you a rapist and that you that would just hurt even more.
I felt that as well. When he came back, of course you're gonna have to deal with changes. When Antron came back and he was looking around, and then it was things have changed, but it's kind of
still felt home.
Still felt like home. That one felt like, with Raymond, felt like life went on.
Yeah.
Life went fast.
Moved on.
All these kids, you don't even know who's in your house. Yeah.
And I think there was a kind of part where it was kind of like he felt like he was replaced. When his dad said, Ramon, and then the little one came, and then it was like, he was looking around like, who's Ramon there? Isn't it?
When they're all jumping on the furniture, it's like, Grandma never allowed that.
Yeah, that as well.
What your kids doing jumping on our furniture? Yeah, no.
That part, Raymond's story definitely kind of got across how once they have you, they have you.
Yeah.
The whole, when he was having that discussion in the cafe about with that, what do you call it? Like a something counselor. The person that kind of guides you, saying that,
parole officer.
Is it parole officer?
I don't remember the scene.
When he's saying,
he has to meet every 90 days or something.
They're doing the CV stuff. Yeah. And then he's pointing to the guy at the back saying, you won't be able to work with this person.
Okay,
and you won't be able to work with that person because of so-and-so.
Yeah.
And then he's like, wait, I have to come home before 9 or something like that. So what if a job wants me to do and he's like, you have to quit that job. Stuff like that. And I felt like that was just powerful. It kind of got all the kind of hardships of going into jail and coming out
and still with you just because you're free, you're not free.
And
it's for them, it's the thing where I'm out and I was always innocent. Surely people must know this. So I'm just someone who's been in jail, but I've been innocent. So life can continue, but it can't because you've been jailed.
And people still didn't think they're innocent. So
Yeah, I felt for that one because I was like, it's kind of like the first question I said, what would you do in that situation? Sometimes I feel like if I go to jail, I might just have my head on strong and I might just continue and just try and take the legit option. But when you're out of jail, it's kind of like you're still in prison and then you're still like, I can't really do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Same thing that happened to Yusef as well. He wanted to be a teacher, he couldn't.
Yeah.
So then that felt powerful to me because it was like, would I? Like, it questioned me again. I was like, would you though? Like, then or would you turn to drugs? Because there's a time in my life where I'm not even proud that I tempted to do that and I didn't even go to prison. You know what I mean?
I'm still tempted.
Take drugs. Wait, take drugs?
Not take drugs.
Sell them.
Mate,
I need a paycheck.
There's times where you're tempted to do just the illegitimate thing.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah, and then...
How can I get a little quick money? It's so much less when you're actually trying to do things the legit way and you're getting every door just shut in your face.
Yeah, and that's when I don't even have a criminal record behind me. So
and then you're going home to a place that doesn't feel like your home and you want to get out, so you need money to get... just everything working against you. I can't even blame him for going into that. Yeah,
I didn't blame him. No. I was like, when I saw it, I wasn't like, oh, you're ill. Yeah, no, silly. But it was just more like... Oh.
It's realistic, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. And you notice that he was trying to avoid their gaze every time.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like when he finally gave up, it was like,
I see you.
Yeah, I see you now. Okay, so did you see this series as a modern history lesson or was it more evocative storytelling?
A modern history lesson, definitely.
You thought more like that?
Yeah, I think... it's one of many stories, and as difficult as it was, like I was saying off air, it was as difficult as it is to watch. It's a necessary piece of watching. It's like the awareness needs to be. A lot of people don't know. Obviously, if you're not black, you don't know how much injustice there is. So there's that. But then, even still, for me, who knows how much prejudice and injustice there is, you don't. How deep it is. Like obviously these things exist, but you're not seeing it in your face like that. So Yeah,
that's how I felt. With this case, I heard about it and then I was like, okay, yeah, that's typical. And then it was only when this came out that I was like,
you have all the facts, you're in disbelief.
You're even more in disbelief. Yeah, like of course, like I remember there was a time where I think I heard that they got like they got their, what's the word where you get like recompensated? Let's just use that word. Yeah, basically there was a time where I saw that on the timeline or something like that, and then I kind of just brushed past it. I was like, yeah, typical. This would happen to black people, but I didn't realise the gravity of the situation until I watched this. And I was like,
damn.
Yeah, and it made me obviously want to kind of research around it.
And this is the thing that gets me. This is just one story in the media. This is happening all the time, even now. But back then, it was really thousands of stories of it like this. But this one just happened to make it into the media. But it's deep. So it's definitely a history lesson.
Yeah.
Or like an awakening, at least, for us to see.
Because so many people have said that, they don't choose to watch black people suffering or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a must to see.
Because
like Raveen said, we know this stuff is happening, but we don't associate directly with it because it might not be happening in our lives, but like we know it's happening to someone. But when you actually see it, you actually see where they get failed each and every time.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you want to like do something about it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like your eyes are more open. Yeah. Even like when Korey was in court on the stand, and I think the judge told him to read off that sheet, and he was like, "Oh, I can't read," and I was like, "He's like, oh, I can't read properly," and I was like, as a speech and language therapist, I was like, there's clearly like learning difficulties or something like that. Like for me, that moment it switched, and I was like, is he like,
something's wrong?
Yeah. And so for me, it was kind of like, like,
we got to do better.
Yeah. Somebody who has learning difficulties or something has been like, does he even understand what has been going on in this whole thing? Which is probably why he made that video so easily, just to get, like, do you get what I mean? They're not giving the correct things to, you know. Yeah, it was just mad for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was just thinking, oh, maybe that might have been why he skipped school.
Yeah.
As well, because he found it like, because before you mentioned that, I was thinking that he skipped school because he just didn't like it. But then when you mentioned that, because I was thinking maybe he does have learning difficulties, but he's not getting help with it.
Because you see, there's definitely something in his speech, and he's a little bit. Oh my God.
And there are statistics. I don't know what exactly the statistics are, but there are statistics that youths that are in juvenile, like a high percentage of them have learning difficulties or reading and writing needs.
Really?
Yeah.
You understand things differently, isn't it? So that's probably true why he made that video more easily.
Yeah, so, and quite a lot of them don't even know what they're being convicted for.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the terminology that's being used.
The jargon.
Because of their needs or etc. So they're more likely to confess for something that they probably don't even understand.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be like, there's so many, I don't know if it's since then or if there were strategies in place at the time of all of their interviewing and stuff, but there's certain ways, obviously, that police are supposed to conduct interviews and stuff and not to be leading. So this lady who's saying there's slander, whatever, what's her name?
Linda.
Shouldn't she be charged for something? Because that was clear, not just her alone, but there was clear injustice in the justice. Like, you know, that's not how you're supposed to practice.
Yeah, the questions that she was
that's
asking.
not how you're supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to do it without
you were there,
a
weren't
legal
you?
guardian.
That's not how you meant.
That's not how
that
you.
is so leading.
Yeah. We'll just
When you just said that, when I clicked, I was just thinking of the word that I couldn't think of earlier. Reparations. Yeah, the reparations that they gave the boys. What was it? 1 million. It was 41 million.
Yeah.
But apparently it was $1 million for each year they spent in jail.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's because you're saying that. Shouldn't they? What do you say? You said they shouldn't she be not faulted, but
charged
with something.
Something. Yeah.
I suppose that as a system, it gets charged
but
monetarily. But of course, I know you're giving me that look as in like
that's the victims
she
receiving
don't care
an
about the
award,
system.
but they didn't receive any punishment.
Like she don't care about their money being.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't
It's not
personally.
her money.
Yeah, it doesn't personally affect her.
And that's not. They're getting rewarded, but she's not getting punished. That they're not. She was wrong, and those wrongdoings should be punishable.
What would you say would be like a fitting punishment?
Death sentence.
For me to strangle her with
Obviously
my bare
not.
fingers.
No. I wouldn't want her to die. I want her to suffer. I want her to go through exactly what Korey and all them boys went through. I want her to be in a male prison on death row, like what's that film called? What's it called?
Green Mile.
Wanted to be in there.
Wanted to be in a male prison.
I don't want her to die. I just want her to be battered up every single day and for her to sit there in solitary and think about her thoughts. I just want her to
think about what you've done.
Think about the repercussions and just,
Here's me thinking, just let her lose her job. But then you
job?
Yeah, because
not enough.
but she profited off the thing.
So you're not thinking straight.
No. The reason why I was saying that is because like if she loses repute for her job, she can't benefit off it like she has been because she's been writing novels.
But she has no remorse. Even now that she's lost her book deal, she's already
experienced the benefit.
So now she needs to feel the hurt that she's caused someone else. Because she's still saying, it's over dramatized, like it's nothing. So let her go in prison and see if it's nothing. Sorry, I'm just... Anyway.
No, Raveen's energy today is different, you know.
Just...
Raveen's like, this is a personal attack.
If I ever come across that woman, just know I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail because she might die.
Oh my days.
Alright, so let me end with these two questions. What other movies or television shows would you say that this reminds you of? And what would you rate it out of 10?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Same.
Everything, like bits probably where I laugh.
So you should show this in school.
Yeah.
They should actually as part, what were you watching in school? Of Mice and Men and them things. They get that, show this.
Do you know when they need to show it in like privatized? This is gonna make it sound like racist. They need to show it in like privatized, predominantly white schools, so you can see just to humble them a bit and let them see these people that live in a bubble that just think racism doesn't exist. And that there is equality in the world and everything's peaceful and great. They need to be shown it and just I know. But 10 out of 10. What did you say?
What movies? What other movies or television shows would you say?
There was one. I think I mentioned it in the last podcast we did. That came out this year.
If Beale Street Could Talk.
If Beale Street Could
Beale
Talk.
Street.
So it's the similar concepts. This young man is charged, but it's way back. I think it might be like 50s or something in America. And he's charged with a crime that he was nowhere near. He was at the other side of town. And it's just about his fight. Like he's young. I think he's like 19 or something at the time. And his partner, like his wife who's carrying a baby, her trying to get the funds together to get a lawyer to try and disprove it. So it reminds me a bit of that. But it wasn't as... There's a lot of love in that story. As much as there is in this one was a bit more trauma orientated, like you saw. It was more harsh.
I watched the Khalif Browder documentary.
Khalif Browder? What's that?
A guy that they accused him of robbing some Mexican guy or something like that, or some white guy, and it wasn't him. And they put him on Rikers Island. Like he had no trial, he had no nothing. They put him on Rikers Island. I think like his bail was like sky high or something. Anyways, he was abused and just basically his prison life was just the madness.
It was a long time ago.
I think it was early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And so he came out and then he committed suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. Jay-Z actually made the documentary.
Oh.
Khalif Browder.
Khalif Browder.
Was this circulating on Twitter one time?
Mm-hmm.
Like was there like a clip of him in prison?
Maybe.
Because that sounds familiar.
Clips of him.
Yeah,
he got beaten up and everything, and he had learning difficulties.
Oh, I can't watch that now.
And he grew up in a foster home, so that's why his parent couldn't make bail, and it was just loads going on in his personal life and stuff. Like,
is it just a one-off?
It was. I think it was a 2-part documentary. Like it was just based on his life, and so he did he actually is in the documentary like after prison, like answering questions and stuff, and then like he committed suicide and just couldn't take it anymore. Just affected him so much. Imagine that though, being in prison for all that time, and then you come out and you're just like, nah, it's
still just trapped in your mind.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that guy.
It's a good one.
What's that?
The one that breaks out.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
But it's a long
but that's just one. Yeah, there's so much that happens.
Yeah, but basically, one of the prisoners in that story comes out, and he's been in prison so long that he didn't know what to do with his life. So then he commits suicide.
Yeah.
He felt like he even had a purpose in prison.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I actually have now the job that I'm doing now. I work with people on probation, and one elder guy said to me, you know, he was almost homeless, and he said if anything he would just go back. He'd prefer to get recalled and go back to prison. He's like, at least there he speaks to people. Where he is now, he just comes out. He doesn't talk to anyone. He doesn't. He doesn't do anything. And he's like, at least I had people around that had something to do in prison. I'm like, oh.
Imagine being in prison that long that
that institutionalized. Yeah. But that's what's wrong with prisons. You're not rehabilitating them. You're just institutionalizing them. So then they do reoffend. It's a money-making business.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
Their plan. But what was I going to say? The shows that... the movies that it reminded me of. It reminded me of... No, the show, sorry. The show that it reminded me of was OJ. But not because of like similarities in the case as such, but it kind of painted a picture why the people of America were on OJ's side, even though the evidence went against him. And I was like, because when I saw the timeline of this, and then when I was reading something and they were mentioning all the cases, and I realized that this case was before the OJ case, I was like, oh, so then this is the reason why with OJ people weren't even looking at the facts. They were just like, nope, I'm not listening to that. They could frame him. They could have done this. They could have done that. And I was like,
That's true.
no, that makes sense.
That connection, yeah.
And there must have been quite a lot of cases before OJ's one that black people had been
getting this whole innocence project. It's just no.
Because that's like one major case that has just come to light now for us. So how many others were there?
Countless.
So everyone's like, nah, we've had enough. OJ, you could go free.
Yeah. Didn't do it. The glove didn't fit.
Yeah. And also, it reminded me of the book To Kill a Mockingbird.
I've not actually read that.
You haven't read it? But yeah, pretty much a black man gets accused of raping a white woman. And it's about a white lawyer, who raises his kids up while he's defending the case for the black man. And then he has to kind of try and, like, he's raising his kids, but it's kind of like he's trying to not shelter them, but kind of like teach them in a way that they can that their innocence won't go, in a way. So he kind of, I think his daughter asks, oh, what's rape? And so he says it's when a man takes away something from a woman or something like that, all sorts of stuff like that. And then also it's just about him constantly fighting against the white mob that wants to kind of hang the black man, and him knowing that the black man's innocent and fighting for the black man and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's the thing is about that book. I think I've lent it. Did I lend it to you, Gladys?
And I said I couldn't read it.
Yeah. I think you did read that part.
Isn't it?
It's like this.
Yeah, but it's like really
tiny writing.
Yeah, and it's like really detailed.
Really,
old,
unnecessary detail. The thing is about that book, I forced my way through it, but I'm glad I forced my way through it. I don't rate the book highly as like a book to read. Like that I would say I would read again, but the story of it is like what I'm explaining to you is kind of like it's relevant, and I understand why it's studied in schools and stuff.
Have they made a film out of it?
Yeah, they have.
I might watch the film.
The easy way out. But yeah, I think I'll end there unless you guys want to add anything.
The only thing I wanted to add, something you said made me. No, it's a nice comment.
Yeah,
it's something you said, and it just made when you were saying about in the To Kill a Mockingbird how the dad is raising his kids and stuff. What I liked in the 4th episode, Korey's episode, that what was his name? The guard. Yeah.
Oh yes.
And you saw, even though it portrayed so much racism, like it wasn't everyone, you know. And he really took him under his wing. Like when he found out about his brother, and he cried and he just hugged him, and I was just like you could just see. And when the boy asked, like, why are you being so nice to me? He's like, he has kids himself, and you just couldn't imagine like them going through that. Yeah. It was nice that someone did have some empathy.
Yeah, that is one. Yeah, that is one thing that would kind of make me feel as though Ava DuVernay is not like on a a tirade against white people.
Yeah, no, I think she did it. She was just putting the truth out there. That's exactly how it was. I think it was. And the bit where Korey goes, I like when you call me kiddo. He just wants to be a kid. Like,
he just wants to be a child, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Stop it.
But yeah, I'll end there. I didn't want to end on too much of a somber note, but
no.
I think it was inevitable with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time. What are we doing? What do we want to do next time?
What's out?
If we do want to do it.
What's out and what's good? I don't know.
I guess you guys will have to wait and see then.